de você viver sem mim. Obrigada. Thank you very much. Lovely art. Nigel Thomas. Thank you, guys. Thank you. You can see these. Wonderful.
I'm Rod, I'm a jazz piano player and I live in Rottingdean. And now is the hardest bit, packing the gear up and getting back home. Yeah, I suppose I first got into playing because my dad was a drummer, and so I grew up with lots of dance band sort of records, and I was hearing that music from an early age. And then I think he bought a piano for himself. He wanted to learn, and I more or less shoved him off the piano because I liked it and I wanted to learn to play, and so I had a few classical lessons. And I think before that I remember a piano tuner coming around and tuning the piano, and I was able to tell the piano tuner by that stage I knew enough about the names of the notes, and I could tell the piano tuner whether he was in tune or not. This horrible little brat telling this guy what was going on. My first gig, you see, I did lots of strange gigs that I've probably blanked out of my memory because they were so awful, and I probably wasn't really that good and wasn't ready to play in public because I only had a few tunes I could play. My parents were supportive of me playing, but they didn't really understand what the life is like to be a musician. And I did really well early on because there was a lot of work for solo piano playing and for the sort of jazz stuff that I was playing, and so I didn't face that thing about you'll never make any money at this, you need a proper job and all that sort of stuff, because I already was doing it. And this is my baby. I absolutely love this Rhodes, and I don't get to play it enough nowadays, but I did a lot of work on it, a lot with all the action and stuff, replaced everything there is to replace on these things, because I've had this since I was a teenager, and that was the first keyboard I ever bought actually. I would never get rid of that one. Go through there, next studio here, I think Imogen's in here. No, this is Imogen. Imogen. My lovely assistant.
Hello.
Also, I was talking about singing earlier on with Imogen, and here she is.
It's me. Not singing at the moment,
No.
washing up actually, which is exciting.
She does both. She does both very well. Imogen, my partner, she's a singer, and we met probably 12 years ago through working together. In fact, she came to do a recording session, and I was playing piano on it, and I was also trying to record it.
Get out of town, be good to me please. Why wish me harm? Why not retire? When we started working together, we were friends then, and we've still got a very good sort of working relationship. I think whatever we've got going on in off stage, as it were, doesn't really it's kind of forgotten when we're performing most of the time. As long as he plays what I ask him to play, then everything's fine. I would describe Rod as first and foremost very funny, good looking, talented. I don't know really. Just spending time right down on the beach where you might see him swimming later, and we do both swim. It has to be a little bit warmer for me to swim, but probably just being by the sea, and anywhere in the world really, wherever we've kind of travelled, that's usually where we're happiest.
I mean, I've never really done anything outside music other than I'm a very keen swimmer. All the other things that I do are escapism. If I go for a swim, that is because when I'm playing, I'm concentrating on playing. I'm certainly not concentrating on the rest of life, but I'm thinking very carefully about of what I'm doing and who I'm playing with, and but there is something that happens, I think, when particularly playing jazz. I do think you get into a state of mind that you don't experience with anything else. When you're young and you start playing music, that's a big thing to admit to yourself, that it's such a big part of your life, and if you gave it up, what would you do? And part of me is still running away from that, because it's a heavy thing to admit. But actually, recently, there haven't been many gigs, and I've started doing other things, and I've realised that my identity is very much tied up with being a musician. I know that there's no actual jazz albums being made by the bigger companies now. They're just reissuing existing back catalogue stuff. It certainly seems at the moment nobody wants to pay for it. Not just music, art in general. I think it's very, very difficult and very difficult to get any sort of money out of anybody for what you do now.
As he rides the evening swell, in the moonlight, white horses dancing to a song he knows so well. He sees.
Yeah, that was good. That was a bit cold, but and the lips take a long time to work after that, so I could just about speak. But yeah, it's all right once you get moving. It's about the same temperature as when you're just swimming without a wetsuit in the summer. Feels the same anyway to your body. Yeah.
It's funny, sometimes you are booked by often a function. Somebody wants you to play for a wedding or whatever, and they'll book a jazz thing. They don't really know what it is. It'll be generally the phrase "Can you jazz it up a bit?" will come out at some stage during the evening. Heard that a lot. You walk into the venue, and they look at you like you've come to the wrong room, and they sort of let you play for a bit, and they look at you like you're still in the wrong room, but you're too embarrassed to do anything about it, and then they sort of smile and walk off, and then you leave and you get in your car and drive 2 hours and think, that was surreal. I mean, I certainly do get badly affected by gigs that I'm not enjoying or something's gone wrong on, but the thought of stopping, no, it just makes me, I think if I did those sorts of gigs where I'm becoming more and more bitter, that would destroy me.
Most musicians I know tend to have to teach to supplement income. I mean, obviously some people do it as their first thing.
Yeah, well, I'm just doing a bit of swimming teaching for a group of adults that want to swim round Brighton Pier, and it's part of Brighton Swimming School, and the programme is called Pool to Pier. My group starts a bit later on with 8 guys who want to swim round Brighton Pier, which is roughly 1,200 metres, and they're completely new to sea swimming. I love it. I've taught kids before teaching this group of adults, and it's not much different actually. The adults tend to do more of what you tell them to do, but they still need you to tell them pretty much everything and want lots more explanation than the kids do.
It's only recently when I've for the first time in my life started thinking more practically about money, and it's never bothered me at all. Even now when I'm paid for playing the piano, I think, blimey, God, I've got away with it. Somebody's paying for, I don't quite believe, don't tell them this, but I don't quite believe that what I'm doing is something that people pay for, and it's a big problem. Jazz is the only music. I mean, jazz will explain every form of music to me. I can see everything else in jazz terms because it's a very sophisticated language, and it's also a very earthy music that will move you on a level that you can't understand, you can't explain.
Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for coming. We're really thrilled that you all made it out tonight.